We've modded this one out a fair bit. Now it makes 100 horsepower. We've got it up to 109 miles an hour.
Wow. It's been sitting there balancing for a good long time.
It's got a smaller sprocket on the back of this one, so this one actually goes 65 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's a heavy bike. So the battery pack is positioned underneath the back here.
Hello and welcome to Out of Spec Scootz. I'm Comp. This is Logan. He also works for Out of Spec. We are here in Virginia. A collection of micromobility and last mile enthusiasts got together, and we've got a decent amount of cool things to check out. E-bikes, scooters, even bigger stuff, electric motorcycles. So behind us, we've got a guy solar charging a scooter with a power bank, EcoFlow. Yeah, let's take a look. The fellow who has this setup out here, his name is John, without an H. He's got EcoFlow branded solar panels, charging a, what do we got? A Volpam scooter. He says it goes about 19. He's definitely got some miles on it. That looking at the tire, it's been flattened out. It's seen some days, but cool looking unit. So let's see what else we got.
We're gonna head inside. Let's see what kind of enthusiasts are here and what kind of micromobility we have on display.
A guy just walked in with this electric mountain board. I just did a video on the same brand of electric board. This one's even bigger.
Very cool.
He's got MBS bindings on it. MBS wheels. Got a little Jetson here that's had its light on for a while. We're doing a cheap e-bike shootout, and a lot of those are the same 14-inch wheels.
Right.
This looks like same display as our Walmart bike. Almost the same thing, and I think ours might even fold down a little better than this thing. That looks like the top stem just folds on this. We've got a wonderful display of explaining what micromobility is. That a lot of people don't know that there's a whole collection of different electric skateboard, hoverboard down there, even down to low-speed vehicle on golf cart-like transportation devices. This guy's just chilling with his cell phone on his electric scooter, looking like a cool dude. But
absolutely,
it's all about that last-mile transportation solutions. So I remember when hoverboards first came out, all the kids in the neighborhoods just cruising around on them.
Did you have one?
I did not. Did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
We should get you one for cruising around at the track.
They're so fun.
So,
So you smack your head right there.
Exactly. They're easy to get out of hand. Segway is, I mean, the old Segways of stand-up stuff, they started a lot of the original things, and they're moving into the scooter market. They've had scooters for a while, but they're really trying to do some cool stuff. But we got 9bot. So
You get that?
we've got the one-wheel guys. Fungineers.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Comp, do you see this one?
One wheel standing up?
Yeah, this
That's
is
awesome.
Really cool.
Yeah, I've never.
Wow, it's been sitting there balancing for a good long time. That One Wheel just came out with their Antic mini bike that's got wheelie mode, being able to hold wheelies the entire time.
Okay, so does it just keep torque like right where it needs to be?
Yeah, using the same balancing technology. It's basically like picture another wheel in a frame on this thing.
Right.
To just kind of sit there and.
So it's just easy mode, just rock back
mode,
and just
exactly.
sit there. That's cool.
I did a recent one on trying to do wheelies on Wes's Ego mini bike, and trying to find that balance point is the key of doing wheelies. And it's just a hack, it seems like, almost, that they've come out with. But One Wheel, revolutionary, awesome stuff. Now these electric unicycles, how fast does this thing go?
I've taken it about 60.
Okay.
Yeah, free to go a little bit faster.
That's just insane.
You'll have to repeat it, Comp, since they couldn't hear him.
Okay, yeah, so he said it goes 60. That's it on that thing. With off-road tire, you can probably just go anywhere, right? These electric unicycles are just beasts. Logan, would you ride one of these?
I would not.
Okay.
That would scare me. Yeah. Would you?
I would, for sure. Hopefully I'll get my hands on one someday.
You got to make a review of one.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably a little bit of a learning curve, but they do the work. Yeah, same thing with the one wheels.
Feel free to try.
Nice. Okay, awesome.
So, Comp, what is this? Is this like a scooter with no handles, or?
Yes, looks like it. I'm not exactly sure. What are we looking at with this guy?
Too Swift.
Yeah.
It's basically like a snowboard platform. It's very similar to riding snowboard. It has a caster wheel front. It has spring tension on it, so it's surprisingly stable. You just kick off from a standstill, and it's remote controlled like the board is, but very nimble. Top speed on that's about 25 miles an hour or so. Range on that maybe 15 to 20 miles an hour. They have a upgraded version. Not really. No. Again, it's surprisingly stable. You can kind of just stand on it, standing still, and give it throttle, and it'll pull off fine. Yeah, that's a great company ran by a great group of guys. They're based out of Ohio.
Sweet.
Very awesome. Yes, they're very awesome.
You said they've got a different model?
Yeah, they have an upgraded version. It's the Mark II. This is the Mark I. It has a little bit more torque in the motor, and I think a little bigger battery for range. But yeah, they're great.
It's almost the ripstick style of feeling with the caster wheel in the front.
You carve very similar to riding an e-skate, but the curve that you get, the lean on it, is a lot more, pronunciated. So it's a lot like surfing or snowboarding. You get a real car.
Yeah. Awesome.
Real car.
Excellent. Well, Richmond PEV, I'll definitely be in connection with you guys. That with out of spec Scootz, that we're based just down by Garysburg, Roanoke Rapids, about an hour and a half south. So.
All right, moving on. We have dirt bikes and a little bit of a city bike here, but I want to hear
Stark.
I want to hear your take on this. This is so cool to me because you're eliminating the noise off-road, where instead of hearing the trail, you're usually hearing a combustion engine just constantly in your ear.
Yep.
Yeah, walk me through that experience.
Well,
have you done electric dirt
Can I
bikes?
just say, it's Kyle behind the camera. This is the coolest freaking thing here.
Yes.
I love Stark bikes.
Yes, definitely coolest thing here. Well, and even riding Wes's Ego mini bike, I was out there doing the noise. I was out there brapping, going brap, brap, just to try to fill the dead space. When you're going through, you're just hearing the crackle of the leaves, but the sound of these things go, and you're hearing mostly chain noise, and it's just and so much power to it. Just like an electric car, you've got instant power delivery. I've never ridden a big one like this. I think there might be a Talaria here. I've ridden that one, and when especially if somebody's new, and you're like, hey, can I ride your electric motorcycle thing?
It is.
This local celebrity here, getting noticed everywhere. You almost have to train somebody new, and a lot of people, it's not for just like, hey, can I jump on your electric dirt bike? No, because a lot of people just end up twisting the throttle and just flipping over the back.
Right, because the average electric car, you're not going to pop wheelies when you hop in it for the first time.
Right. And no clutch, no neutral.
Right.
So pretty much whenever it's turned on, it's live, and a lot of people just have a tendency to just, I'm going to turn the throttle, and then that's when it kicks on you.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, super sick.
And E-Ride Pro, that thing's awesome. 3.0, he says. Awesome.
Nice to meet you.
Wonderful stuff you got here.
Thank you.
How do you like this thing?
I haven't ridden the Stark.
Okay.
But
this one's yours?
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
Yes. I am very familiar with this one though.
Okay. Tell us about it.
It's a E-Ride Pro 2014 3.0.
Wow.
It's a 72 volt, 48 amp. It's got a smaller sprocket on the back of this one, so this one actually goes 65 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it'll do every bit of it.
Yeah. That is awesome. Some pegs for
stunt pegs, we used it as an ambulance last week. Actually, one of our guys broke his foot out riding, but
that's awesome.
He served as an ambulance to get him from Bell's Isle back to the city. Yeah.
Where do you normally ride this thing? Where do you go?
We actually ride like Cap Trail, which is down in the city. Then I'll ride around here sometimes with my son, but mainly I stick to the city and Bell's Isle and other trails that aren't state parks.
That's awesome. Cool. Stay safe, have fun.
Yeah,
and good to see you got the full-size helmet at least.
Of course. Safety is the game.
Right. You put some miles on it. Definitely seen some miles.
Yeah, I think I've had it for 2 months. I put 1,300 miles on it.
Wow, excellent. Sweet.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah,
no problem.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Well, here we've got a Highboy S2. Beautiful unit, and I think Kyle even mentioned that Autospec Dave, Kyle's dad, has been sponsored at times by Highboy. Really cool looking little scooter.
Yeah, it's brand new.
It looks brand new. It's still got the coverings on it. This looks like a Logan machine.
This is absolutely a Logan machine. Yeah, it looks beginner friendly.
Yeah.
Do you know what the price is on like one of these roughly?
I would think you're under 500.
Right, okay.
Depending on the models, and just like the cheap e-bikes, you can get stuff down to $100. You can get stuff up to $2-3 grand if
Right.
you really want to go nuts. But you're going to get bigger tires and much more power in that. But it's nice even having solid tires.
Yeah, instead of
You're not going to get any flats.
Yeah.
And it looks like just front motor on this one.
Okay.
That it's going to be pulling you feeling rather than pushing you over.
so
the
is there
back.
like a bunch of torque steer with that?
Doubtful. No.
Okay.
Just maybe a little bit of burnouts if you're leaning
Right.
back.
Okay.
Dude, check this out.
Re-Road R1 Plus, 17 kilowatt, 60 miles an hour,
Damn.
and so light at 150 pounds. Giant battery at 40 amp hours, 72 volts. You can only low price of $4,500.
There are so many cheap used EVs that you can get.
Get for $5 grand, exactly.
But no, I mean, this is super cool.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how much fun that would be if you know what you're doing. And
Right.
you're on a trail.
Right.
To be able to hit this thing out of a corner on like a dirt trail sounds like a blast.
Well, and Kyle, take a look at the sprocket. Comparing the gentleman that we talked to earlier, to get this other one to go 60, it's got a sprocket that's only about that big. Where if this one's advertising 60 with a sprocket that size, that motor RPM is cranking. So,
I'm Billy with Electric RVA here in Richmond.
awesome, Billy. I'm Comp.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so you mentioned the sprocket size
Yeah.
difference on this. This is chain drive direct off the motor.
Okay.
Compared to where this one has a jack shaft system, and there's a belt that goes into a jack shaft
I see
that is a
that.
gear reduction.
Okay.
And then chain drive to the wheel from there.
And that's why the aftermarket sprocket comes in on that unit.
Exactly.
Okay, nice.
Yep. So the good thing with a bike like this is you can rip it. One of the common issues on some of these off-road bikes with belts is they break.
Yeah.
And when you have to replace them, you have to take the whole swing arm off.
Okay.
With this one, you only have chain maintenance.
Yeah.
Make sure your chain's tight, you're good to go.
Yeah. A little bit of an idler pulley on this one, looks like. No, that's
Yeah,
the
so that's the
direct
jack
drive?
shaft as
Okay,
well.
Okay, excellent.
So this still has the belt drive off the motor
Wow.
to the jack shaft
Okay.
system, which gives you a good gear reduction.
Yeah,
And
for
why
sure.
you can run such a big sprocket.
That's awesome.
You mentioned what this is. We just hadn't done that yet.
Yeah, this is a 2025 Saron Ultra B HP, but we've modded this one out a fair bit. Now it makes 100 horsepower. We've got it up to 109 miles an hour, 75 kilowatts. It's an 88 volt battery, 60 amp hour that can put out 850 amps. Not continuous, that's peak power.
Yeah.
But yeah, we built this bike. These are all
Ridiculous.
off the shelf parts.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
you can buy one of these, order the parts, and have a 100+ mile an hour bike
What do you,
without many customization.
what do you
custom
think
things.
the price of aftermarket stuff you got into it?
So the battery's about $3,200.
Okay.
The controller is $1,100, and the motor is $1,500.
Okay.
So 5, 6,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. But the
It's a
price
decent
of these
chunk of
bikes are $6,000 in itself.
Yeah.
So now you have enough money where you could have bought a Stark Varg. But this will actually outperform a Varg, weighs a lot less.
Yeah.
The aftermarket capabilities and customizations on these bikes are so much more than the Varg.
Nice.
And there's a lot more knowledge base out there
Okay.
for the Suron platform rather than a Varg. They've kept everything so proprietary on the Varg
Okay.
that it's hard to customize them or do anything with software
Yeah.
or tuning. So these are very comparable to the popular Yasma. Same frame, same components, a little bit of improvement in hardware. So these are very low-cost bikes and have gotten very popular over the past few months. Their non-pro model comes in right at $12.99 out the door.
Wow.
And it's a 2.5 kilowatt, goes about 37 miles an hour from the factory. But the good thing about these bikes is they come with far driver controllers. So you can get a Bluetooth dongle, plug in the dongle, and tune it on your phone.
Yeah.
And you can gain 10 miles an hour with a $20 dongle.
Wow. Awesome.
But very popular, good components, made in
Well,
China.
Yeah, but it's at least got a real shock to it.
Yep.
So, and a decent sized motor, like
Yep,
even
and
on this little entry unit.
The aftermarket capabilities of these are very good as well. We have one that will do 65, 70 miles an hour.
Nice.
Through a Socian motor in it, battery, and then one of the controllers that we're a dealer for, Moxon or Motion, depending on how you want to pronounce it. But it's a self-wheelie controller and extremely capable.
That is awesome.
One of the world's, I think it runs like a 7-second and a quarter mile. It's a hub drive QS, not exactly sure on the model, but they're using the Moxon controller and putting out 3,000 phase amps to the motor. So it's extremely capable.
Amps.
We're just using smaller ones for smaller bikes.
That's awesome.
And what's this one here?
This is the new Arctic Leopard XF. This actually just released 3 weeks ago. They did a lot of testing at Glen Helen Raceway in California. They're in the 12 to 14 kilowatt class. This came in first. Factory suspension, factory everything. This is one of those better values, and as we see the market progress, these companies are making better bikes cheaper. This one out the door is $3,920, but 4 years ago, if you were trying to buy a Sur-Ron, half as powerful, way less better of suspension, worse brakes, that you were spending $4,500 for that. So for less money, you get double the power, way better suspension, way better brakes. And this is a 72 volt battery at 35 amp hour, puts out 12 kilowatt. It's direct drive, so you don't have any sort of belt to worry about.
Actual configurable forks.
Yep.
Like real front suspension.
Yep. KKE suspension front and rear. This is pretty cool too. NFC tags or a PIN number to turn the bike on. So if you lose your keys, they still give you an out to hop on it and ride.
That is amazing.
Yep. Great company. They're somewhat new to the market, but the quality overall compared to a lot of the other companies has been surprising for us.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're going to connect with these guys, hopefully get them out to the track, have a couple of these things, and give them a couple rips around the track, and just awesome to talk to you guys. Really appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much. We've got a Kawasaki here, but it says hybrid. We've got an HEV, a hybrid electric vehicle. What are we looking at here? We're with the owner.
Yeah, so this is a 2024 Kawasaki Ninja 7 Hybrid, and it is gas and electric. So it uses the 451cc gasoline motor that is shared with like the Ninja 500, but then it also has an electric motor that's tied directly into the powertrain for that little added performance assist, but also the obviously economical assist as well. So a little bit better gas mileage than you might get if it were the same. It's a heavy bike. So the battery pack is positioned underneath the back here. It's a 1.37 kilowatt hour battery pack. So it's small, but it gets the job done. So the disappointing thing about this bike is that Kawasaki basically said, we're going to build this really freaking cool bike, but they didn't really think about how it might or might not sell in the United States. So for the money, they priced it originally, MSRP is $12,500. Which, as far as motorcycles go, in that point, you're getting some serious motorcycle for that price. So from a performance aspect, it usually will perform around like a 650 motorcycle. The problem is you want to buy a Ninja 650, you could get that for way less than $12,500. Well, on the efficiency side, same thing kind of happened. This I've been able to get around 60 miles to the gallon average when I'm not really getting into it. Well, the Ninja 500 will do 70 miles to the gallon fairly easily for less money. So they didn't position this very well with the price point in their vehicle lineup. So not a lot of people like them. It's heavier, it's longer, it doesn't shift the way you do a traditional motorcycle. If you look over here, Kyle, there's no shift lever on the left-hand side. It's a manual transmission, 6-speed, but it's automatically controlled when you hit your shifter buttons to change gears. So it's just quirky. It's different. It's one of those things that a lot of people are like, nope, I'm a motorcycle traditionalist. That's not what I want.
You got a decent deal on it, though.
I got a great deal. So I got this for $5,000.
Nice. Brand new.
Like basically $7,500 off because they really had not been selling them very well. They actually only made them for 2024 and 2025. It's been discontinued now because of that fact. I think Kawasaki will take what they did with this back to the drawing board and figure out a way to make a bike that might have more of a singular purpose in mind versus being something that is so well-rounded.
Yeah.
That being said, for me, I don't care about going 150 miles an hour on the highway. And yeah, of course, I'd love to get 80 miles per gallon instead of 60,
Right.
but I feel like it's got a decent balance for what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So
And
it made
kinda
a lot of
cool-
sense.
Cool that you're carrying around an electric motor and a battery on,
Yeah.
on 2 wheels.
Yeah. I'm going to dive into all of the controls and electronics at some point. I did find a guy on Reddit that built a way to have a plug-in
Okay.
to charge the battery.
There we go.
So, like, yes, we're at an EV event today. My personal view on hybrids is that, yeah, it might say hybrid electric vehicle, but if you're getting your energy sourced from gasoline, that is not an electric vehicle.
Right.
So as soon as I figure out what this guy did, I'm going to make a plug for it so that I can charge the really teeny battery,
Yes, right.
but at least start with the full charge before I
Exactly.
decide to ride off into the sunset.
Sweet.
Can you ask about the boost button? Tom?
Well, tell us about this e-boost button, please.
Yeah,
What
so
does that do?
I don't know if you or your audience is familiar with like the Genesis GV60. That's got a button on it where you can add a little bit more performance. This works the same way.
Okay.
So in sport mode, this will allow you to press the button and it'll give you an extra bump with the electric motor. And yeah, it's a small electric motor. It's a 48 volt system. So it's not like it's going to have a lot of power in terms of voltage to be able to handle.
Right.
But at any speed, I mean, you could be doing 80 miles an hour in sixth gear, full throttle, and hit that button, and it'll still give you a noticeable shove.
That's cool.
So that's my basic, like, my dopamine button.
Yeah.
Like, that's my little addicting, like, hey, I can't get enough of that.
One more. Yep.
But that's all right.
Sweet.
But it's fun. It is an absolute delight. I'm looking forward to keeping this for years and eventually tearing it apart and figuring out how to get a bigger battery and play around with the electronics. 'Cause,
Nice.
I mean, why not?
Exactly. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely. Pleasure.
Yep.
All right, so we are now over in the robotics section, and I have a new friend here who's going to tell us a little bit about herself and then also what you guys are doing.
Hi, I'm Anandi Sarkar. I am the CAD and Mechanical Director on Team Talon 540. This is our bot from last year. This is 17.0. The objective of the bot is to get those PVC pipes that are somewhere over there and put them onto this reef over here. There were several other things you could do with this game. There were these big bouncy kickballs that we considered algae. You're supposed to put them at the trough at the top of the field, and you could also hang from different cages at different heights at the center of the field.
Amazing. And so tell me about that process. Is this fully custom, or are you guys doing everything?
Yeah, so this is a student-led team, so everything you see here was designed and coded by the students. We are one of the few teams that CADs everything by hand. We've been CADing all 25 years that we've been in function, and everything, like down to the motors, down to the metal, some of the plates, as you can see, that are lightened on the side over there, are fabricated in-house using our using our CNC mill.
And then, so talk to me about the software side and all of the development that goes into that.
So we use Java. Last year, we did a lot of hand coding. In fact, they're not on the bot right now. We had Arduino cameras, and those cameras were actually pioneered. A lot of the code behind it was pioneered by our software director and our chief technical officer of last year. If you look up the documentation, their names are actually on the documentation. But this year, we switched to a cloud AI system because we didn't want to hand code all of it because we didn't have that amount of knowledge. We had lost a lot of the knowledge with the programming and the CTO director leaving. So we have the bot that we are currently competing with, 18.0, is completely coded using cloud AI, using prompting by our wonderful strategy director.
And so what has AI done for you guys? Has that made that process a lot easier?
Yes, I do believe so, because our programming director obviously knows, programming and strategy director obviously knows what he's talking about. He's done Java for 3 years. He trained all of our rookies on how to code, but he did not have that kind of taking the code and translating from your brain into the paper. So what he did was he became extremely talented at prompting cloud AI to do what it wanted to. And we have one of the best autonomouses in Chesapeake right now, and we are currently ranked 17th out of 118 in the district. And I think that is a lot of that is because that the coding is just so well done, well edited, and well understood by our programming team.
That's so awesome to see. How long does it take you guys to, from like the original idea all the way to where we are right now to get this finalized?
This is a 2-month process. We get our game, so there's a new game every year. Like I mentioned, this is Rescape. This year we have Rebuilt, which is just shooting balls into a hub and driving over a bump and climbing in a ladder style. And so we got the game around, I think it was January 15th. From there, our CADing process took around 4 weeks, our mechanical manufacturing process took around 3, and our coding took another 2. So it really does take a village to do this. Our team is 60 strong, and we still took that long. And it is very much a community-based process. We make sure that everybody splits into groups, gets their own ideas, and then takes it into a communal property, like a communal presentation at the end.
And have you guys competed with this unit already, or is that yet to happen?
This has already been competed with.
Okay.
This actually went to the World Championships last year.
Amazing.
In the Hopper division. You can see, if you want to come close, we've got a little gold sticker to prove it right there.
Okay.
Yeah. So this has competed for quite a bit, and it's been pretty good. We are currently competing with 18-0, so if you are wanting to come to the Blacksburg first event at Blacksburg High School, we will be competing there. We just competed at the Glen Allen event with our other bot, and that actually ended up being 3rd place in the Alliance selections, and we ended up winning Impact, the most prestigious outreach award. And we're going to be likely competing at the district championships at Petersburg, Virginia, at Virginia State University.
So impressive for you guys to be doing this at this level and this age. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, thank you so much.
Well, guys, some super cool people here that we met, and so many new things that I had never heard of, and appreciate Comp for showing me around.
Saw some great things. Wonderful to see everybody come together. Made some great connections. So happy to be here. Micromobility in Virginia, it's good to see it strong. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.